Hello there, my fellow zombies. Josh here with the Zombie Cure. So, one of my subscribers said that maybe I should add a joke in these videos. Just because, these first videos, they're kind of not the most entertaining, and I get it. They're just more informative. They will get more entertaining as they go, but honestly, I'm not that funny. I'm as funny as a screen door in a submarine. Anyways, today we are going to talk about social norms and shaking hands. So, before I start this though, when I talk about the shaking hands part, I've actually tested this conversation out with people, and almost every time I test it, one person at least has got up and walked away. Why is that? Well, it kind of goes with what a social norm is. Social norms are what I call bads that stick. That's the best way I like to describe it. They actually keep people civil, and it's true. They actually do. It gives us a set of guidelines to treat each other with respect. One of them is shaking hands. However, the reason people get up and leave is because they're in that little box of acceptance that I talked about in one of my previous videos called Cores. So if you want to watch it and kind of understand that a little bit, you're more than welcome to. But when you go outside of that acceptance, again, humans are trained to and educated to accept rather than educated to analyze things. So when you jump out of that little box of acceptance, it rubs people the wrong way, and understandably so, because this is how they're taught their whole life. And oftentimes it feels like that I am insulting your intelligence, and I promise you that's not the case. So I want you to look at this as if I'm just giving you another tool, just a different perspective. So that's kind of the social norm side of things. So let's jump to shaking hands. So we're going to get into this. How would you like it if I came up to you and instead of shaking your hand, I grabbed your arm and patted it, kind of looked around, kind of make you feel uncomfortable, right? Well, actually, that's where shaking hands come from. About 5 BC in ancient Greece, that was customary sign of respect, and also to tell if the dignitary or opponent you were talking to is armed, so they would feel for knives and weapons. That's where it originated from. Now, it kind of morphed into the modern version we know of today in the 1918 Spanish flu. After that was over, just like with today's pandemic, we crave contact, so shaking hands became a joy of people greeting each other because they're able to make contact again after that pandemic is over. So, as a greeting, it sounds great, and it is. I use it personally to convey emotion. If I'm excited, I get in there, I give a nice firm handshake, and that also conveys my excitement to see somebody. However, and this is where people will usually get up and walk away, it also has some negative effects. It actually, like in an interview instance, it is used to measure somebody's confidence. And people often judge you, and judging is the negative behavior we're enabling here. They judge you if you perform the handshake wrong. So then it turns into a person just, let's say, not getting a job. Now, I've actually tested this. So when somebody gives me a really weak handshake or a really wormy handshake, I actually ask them, why do you do that? Why you're not doing yourself a service by giving me a weak handshake? And the answers I got were pretty incredible. It is a totally different perspective that had nothing to do with their confidence, nothing with their ability to do their job. In fact, a lot of people that gave those weak handshakes I now work with, and they're the best workers I know. But their answers would actually surprise me. It would be something along the lines of, I just don't like to touch people. I don't like the way it feels. It had absolutely nothing to do with their confidence levels. So if you go down to the core of what shaking hands is, even below where it originated from, only thing it is grabbing somebody's hand and wiggling it. It has absolutely no meaning other than that, other than what we have currently assigned to it. So the next time you want to judge a first impression, which is a video we'll do later, we'll talk about first impressions and how maybe they're not the best thing to judge somebody by. But next time you are going to judge somebody based on how or if they did the handshake right, think of it this way. We're putting a lot of stock into grabbing somebody's hand and wiggling it. Now, if you look at it that way, it sounds kind of silly, doesn't it? Anyways, it's just an observation, and I appreciate you watching.